Good morning, everyone. This is session number 185 of the Morning Journal. I am your host, G. We are live right here on Spoon, as well as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. I had a little freeze for a moment. But we live, folks, and I'm glad to have each and every one of you here. Today we're going to be talking about, I guess the theme is 5 Whys Deep. Trying to make a little bit of sense of, those intersections or the interplay between joy and purpose and all that type of good stuff. So, I'm expecting it to be a good time today as we close out our streaming, our sessions for the week. I will be live again tonight for Rhythm and Muse and Writer's Room. Alexis is here. Welcome in, Alexis. Thanks for joining us. I need to assign some management around here. There we go. Alexis, I hope that your stream went well last night if you were able to go on. I'd love to hear more about it. Noble Ancient is here. Thank you so much for joining us. As you may or may not have noticed, as you came into the room, we already kind of jumped into the questions because I didn't want to waste a moment of the I didn't want to waste a moment of any of the backgrounds to let you know what session it is. So we're just gonna come right in. Noble is coming in with sick, sore, and suffering as the words that describe your experience right now. That's a tough three. That's a tough three to deal with. Hopefully we can make some sense of it, I'm sorry that you are dealing with that right now. Just a quick reminder, don't wait for the request box. If you remember, we are coming straight into the chat. If you want to put a check mark to make sure that I see it, but I'm going to try to do my best to try to keep up with it the best I can. Acid Child says, I'm heartbroken. Heartbroken. Well, this is, you came to the right place. I think that there's some things in our conversation today that are going to deal with that. So I don't know how long you're going to be able to hang with us. Hopefully you can make it to the point where we reach that part of the conversation. But we can relate to heartbreak. I know at least I can. It might not be the specific thing that broke your heart, but I am acquainted with the heartbreak. So a warrior is exhausted, broken, and I won't say the other word. Yeah. Alexis is coming in curious, excited, and tired. Curious, excited, and tired. Aunt Capone is in the house, hungry, warm, and sleepy. What's going on, Aunt Capone? Thank you so much for the like, Tree. I appreciate that. Tree is refreshed. Warrior is rocking a brand new profile pic, got a theme going. Taro San is here. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. As you come in and get settled, if you would like to participate in the conversation, just drop it in the chat. What 3 words best describe how you feel now? Hopefully Aunt Capone is able to get something to eat, I know on Instagram, Aunt Capone posted the Breakfast of Champions, the full spread. And I know I've been eating good since I've been here. So hopefully you can get some food in your belly. Taro-san is from Japan. Well, thank you so much for stopping through and checking us out over here on, in the U.S. server. I know we probably a little more laid back and easy than you are over there, but hopefully this is going to be an experience worth checking out, and it'll be worth your time to hang out with us. And we'd love to have your perspective on things from the prompts. So what we do here is we work with the prompts, like what you see in the background of your screen right now. What 3 words best describe how you feel right now? So let us know about that. DT Dub TV is in the house. Those 3 words, what 3 words describe how you feel? I guess for me, you know, I went through the trouble to get up, to get my water. I don't know what I did when I got up, but you know what I didn't do? Get my water. Hold on a second. I need to exit stage right for just a second. Man. What did I even do when I got up? I didn't get the water. What did I do? All right, Abby is here, folks. Good morning, Abby. Thanks for joining us. Verlaine, thank you so much for the like. All right, so if I had to pick my 3 words, my 3 words right now are a little stiff, relieved, and there's a little twinge of anxious, maybe. I'm a little anxious. This is day 2 of our new sort of format, not really new format for the show, but new presentation of the show. And I will say this, I am pleased with the enhanced quality of the video and audio that shows up on YouTube and Facebook. And it feels like it's worthwhile. I noticed a difference in like the retention, like people can hang in there longer because the sound isn't jarring. So Shira says, my 3 words are pain, tired, warm. Pain, tired, and warm. I guess depending on where you are, warm is a good thing, because I know in the world, there are a lot of places where it's cold. And I know that we got, like where I'm at, we got winter weather on the horizon. So warm is kind of associated with kind of safe in the context of dealing with that type of thing. So Abby says, my back hurts. Those are the 3 words that describe how you feel right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your back hurts. Yeah, back pain, right? Hopefully you can get in a comfortable position and rest and relax for a while. I think we're about 10 minutes in, so I think I'm ready to go to go into the next prompt. But please feel free to continue to answer in the chat if you want to drop what those 3 words are. Tree says you forgot the other 2. I know Tree, I think what the first one you used was maybe relieved. I don't know. I was able to check out the latest episode of The Treehouse, which is available on YouTube. If y'all aren't following Tree's YouTube channel, you're missing out. It's a really great episode 3 about nature. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will tell you that it's worth checking out. A lot of fun, you know, some humor, very beautiful scenery from Hawaii, and, you know, looking forward to the journey. I'm not going to, you know, here's a beautiful thing about plants. I'm just going to say this. Once you see a plant in the beginning, you want to see how it's going. You know, you want to catch up on the progress and see how it's thriving. So we are invested in the garden, in the grapevine. Berlin is doing being a little bit abusive. Why red? I guess I'm a little red today. I need to white balance my situation. I'm showing up real bright red. Yeah, you feel like you maybe made some mistakes. All right. I know that Noble says that I don't know if Noble is feeling sort of the aftermath of vaccination or dealing with just sickness overall, but Bex is coming in as anxious, hopeful, and optimistic. We got a mix of ways that we are being. So y'all can keep that energy. Y'all can keep that flow. I am gonna ease into sort of the next little part of the check-in because it is Friday, and I think it's a good time to look back over the week and evaluate things a little bit. So for Bex, my cat just threw up on the floor. So add annoyed to the list. No, oh no, not poor kitty, poor Bex. Bex is the one that's got to clean it up. I guarantee you that cat brought that on itself. That's a self-inflicted wound. So poor Bex, because Bex got to clean it up. All right. So here we go. Let's get into the next little bit here. And looking at our week. What has been the most satisfying win and biggest lesson of the week? So Bex's cat says, yo, he acts like I don't feed him. Noble says, on Alexis and my 9-year, 11th month anniversary yesterday, I get struck with sickness. Yeah, I mean, it bees that way sometimes. It makes you appreciate. I hope it didn't dead to whatever way you were choosing to celebrate. I hope you were able to go through with it, or at least you were able to at least be together, So, we're talking now, the conversation is shifting about kind of looking at this week. So, if you want to think back over your week, the most satisfying win and biggest lesson. Most satisfying win and biggest lesson. I say lesson in lieu of loss, because I think that if you hold it the right way, anything that might show up or seem like a loss in the beginning, it's actually just it's an opportunity to grow. So Alexa says, my biggest lesson, never underestimate the importance of water and self-care. So Bex is procrastinating. Bex is procrastinating. Let me say this, Bex. Let me say this. I understand it's important. It's good to batch. It's pretty cool. A good idea so that you can stay on schedule. But I will say this. The feedback that you get when you start putting things out makes your later work better. And what might happen if you batch up a whole bunch of content is by the time you get ready to release it, you won't even like it anymore. you know? So it's okay to get a little bit ahead, but yo, you gotta start dropping them joints, yo, because you don't know really what it's gonna be until it actually hits the world. So that's just a little bit. I mean, I know you're not procrastinating. I just said that to be funny, but I would say that don't try to get too far ahead, because when you're on a steep growth curve, especially, you're not even going to want to put that stuff out, because you're going to learn so much and it's going to be so much better. You just got to take that leap and start putting something out there. Beck says, I thank you for your advice, but I'll see y'all in April. Said, thank you so much for your advice. I shall see you in April. Let me do me. Noble says, my win was getting my newest game started in building, and the lesson, don't take life for granted. Don't take your life and energy for granted. Your health. So Alexis and Noble are looking forward to their anniversary. And Abby, of course, is in an earlier stage of marriage, but excited and congratulating them. Kitten is here. Hi, Kitten. Thank you for stopping through. So Warrior says, the lesson is, it's maybe not my time yet. Might go into things later, but that's all I'm saying for now. I got that. Tree is reflecting on her creative journey. It's easier to film and edit as you go. I'm never prepared for it though, so there's a lot to learn. It's exciting because I don't know what's going to happen. Alexa says, I'm waiting for the day I can say we've been married 25 years. That is my goal thus far. So Noble, I don't know. You could say it now, but I mean, it won't be true, but you could say it. But yeah, that is a nice, really nice milestone, and you'd be amazed at how quickly time passes. Now, I haven't been married 25 years. I didn't make it that long, but time really does fly. So Shira says, I think my biggest win was starting an internship at an interior design firm. Well, that's pretty cool. I think if I remember correctly, the first time that you came into the live was because I had the background. I had a design on the background. And you was like, oh, is this about design? Yeah, unpaid internships are, you got to start. Get in there and start learning, and you'll get a real clear picture of whether or not it is, what it's cracked up to be. So as we're thinking about being creators out here, I know Berlin from DTW TV, for his process, editing is the most difficult part because you get easily distracted and requires focus. I can relate to that. I don't know if that's the most difficult part for me. I think I enjoy it. Once I start doing it, I can really get into it. Probably the writing is the most difficult part for me. Everybody has different strengths in terms of what they are drawn to or gathered in with the process. And, there's a lot of problems that you have to kind of untangle. So Abby's sharing a win. Abby says, I think the biggest win for me this week was really cleaning the house. I mean, really cleaning, making people uncomfortable, cleaning the house. Did you do it? Did you do it with a smile on your face? You know how stressful it is when people are cleaning up around you? Like, oh man, I can't live right now. Springtrap is here. Welcome in, Springtrap. Thanks for joining us. Right now, as we're getting started, we're kind of reflecting on our biggest win and most satisfying win. It doesn't have to be big. And the biggest lesson of the week. So Berlin points out in the editing process, you do need to have quiet, outside noise is a bummer. You need like a good environment, some like good headphones, either a quiet place or some really good headphones that keep you immersed. So Tree says, my lesson was prepare a good storyline for my videos and film everything. Yeah, there is something about being intentional, and a little bit of preparation can go a long way. Abby and Springtrap, thank you so much for the like. Francis, welcome in and thank you for joining us. So Berlin says the biggest win right now is crypto. And he's much closer to becoming monetized on YouTube. Start getting that ad bread. We're not going to be able to talk to Berlin no more. You better get all of your information. And, he's going to be, on another level. He's going to switch it up on us, I'm quite sure. We're here for it. So, Francis, let us know, what is your most satisfying win and biggest lesson of the week? Berlin says, you'll still be able to talk to me. I'm just not going to be listening. You can talk all you want. You say that now, Berlin. You say that now. Well, we'll see. Hey, I don't blame you, man. Look, you grow, sometimes you gotta, you gotta start spending time with people on the next level. And I get that. We're not gonna hold you back. We want you to fly. And I don't care. You can forget about us if you want. I'm not going to hold you to that. Oh, man. We'll be able to say, we knew Berlin when. We'll be able to say it, but we won't. We won't say it. It's like, oh, how about that? All right. I need to open up my notes as we get ready to go into our next prompt. So just bear with me for a second. If anyone hasn't shared their win for the week or lesson, let me know. Let us know what you're working with right now. Chels is here. Hello, Chels. I hope that you're doing well this morning. Congratulations to Bex on getting those dividends. Them dividends. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, I think if you saw the notice or if you're watching it on YouTube or elsewhere, you see the title, it says something about 5 whys. And I'll try to get to that and see if we can make sense of that shortly. But I guess to kind of set up our conversation for the week, I want to say a little bit about open-endedness. Things that are open-ended. I think that as human beings, we are drawn to and we kind of crave resolution, right? We want closure. It's uncomfortable when things are just kind of left unresolved and like, what's going to happen next? It kind of creates this itch in our brain that we can't scratch until we know what happens next. So whether that's in our lives or even if it's in the stories that we consume, if the story doesn't end in a satisfying way, it can kind of ruin the entire experience. Because I think we have a set of expectations from all the stories that we've experienced and known over the course of our life. So even if you kind of know what is going to happen or what should happen, there's still a lot of tension to find out how it happened, right? So I want to go into sort of like a interim prompt to kind of drive this part of the conversation home and get us to start thinking about this idea of dealing with things that are open-ended and thinking about resolution. And we'll try to do it in sort of a fun way. I think it might be fun. So the question that we can work with to start this conversation, I think, is what movie or series that you've seen has the most satisfying ending? And that might be harder to recall than ones that are least satisfying. You know, it's easy to know. And if you want to share like, oh, that didn't work, I hated the way that ended, you can share that as well. If it was very unsatisfying or if it was extremely well executed, I would say just out of courtesy, you know, we don't need to spoil anything. You can just say what it is and what you liked about it without saying what happened. So it's a movie or a series. I don't know. It could be an animated series. It can be the final episode of a season, or a movie. So maybe something that you binged, something that you think, well, you know, that ended the way I hoped it would. That was worth the journey. Or maybe what comes to mind more easily for you is like that you hate it. Games, absolutely. I think games are a great example of long form storytelling. So yeah, if there's a game that you like, you know, I done put all these hours into this game and now this is how it ends. Boo, boo. So there's someone here with a series of symbols in the name. I'm not sure what to call you, but I will say that you are welcome. And I appreciate you for popping in and participating in the conversation. Chels, thank you so much for the like. So let us know about resolution in stories that you are familiar with. Movies, games, TV shows, seasons maybe. Maybe it's a show that is still going and you're waiting for the next season to start. So it's a conversation about how things close out. That's how things are resolved. Hey, Doge is here. Doge is here. How about that? Welcome in, Doge. So as you may have noticed in the background, we're talking about movies and series or even games that had really satisfying endings. Berlin says Outlast 2 was confusing when I beat it. So I Googled the story and yeah, it made sense. You had to kind of go back and look at the storyline. So Warrior says, you know, I don't really be watching film like that. I can dig it. Alexa says, the movie is Alita. The show is Handmaid's Tale. And the game is Final Fantasy VII. So those are ones that are executed well. For Tree, the movie that still makes me cry. Still tears bring. Wait a minute, we got something to make Tree cry? That's pretty significant, I would say. You know, given what we know about Tree, if a movie can move Tree, Tree's pretty sturdy. And then what they say, Tree sturdy. But still, every time you watch A Little Princess, and has a really satisfying ending. So, and it was released in 1995. So, hey, there you go. So, also, Warrior says, I'm not really about that telly either. It's just, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not really on top of all that, which is cool. Where were we at? Maybe here? All right, Doge, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. So Shira says, my second favorite game has a satisfying ending. It's Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3. So Noble says, I watched the last episode of a series I like called Miraculous before the TV glitched out. And the episode was called Ephemeral. It was a really deep episode. Sigma is here. Thank you so much for joining us, Sigma. Right now we're talking about movies, shows, games that have satisfying endings. And I guess if we want to think about those things, what makes those experiences satisfying? What makes those experiences satisfying? What do you think it is that makes a story, whether it's told through the medium of movie, TV series, or game, or even a book, what is it that makes it satisfying? What do you think it is? Warrior says, a Christmas episode of Little House made a friend of mine cry every time when we were younger. Alex is here. Sigma, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, what do you think makes something satisfying? What does it for you? Do you feel better when what you expect when you expect, how can I frame this question? Is it more satisfying for you when what you expect to happen actually happens? Or do you prefer to be like surprised and have to be like, go back and connect the dots? Which experience do you think you're more drawn to in that case? So, Ann Capone, Cybershots is mentioning Training Day as the movie that has the most satisfying ending. Ann Capone says, good times. Satisfying ending to the series because JJ got them out the ghetto. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. YOLO is in the house. What's up, YOLO? I appreciate you, fam. Thanks for stopping through. Yeah, prayers up for Kalina. Got COVID. I hope that you are taking care of yourself for sure. Warrior's like, I don't know what's wrong with y'all getting all wrapped up in these stories. Warrior's hard body karate, baby. I love that. Link's Awakening for Noble is a game that has a great ending. Sigma says the thing that does it for me in terms of making a story or a movie satisfying is it has an authentic connection and application to my life with and without emotional ties. For Alexis, it said it has to have a good storyline with relatable characters, but you prefer to be surprised in the end. Sigma says Disney Pixar's Soul is a quality cartoon for young and old. Drop the whole ad for Soul in here. So Abby's like, the Gilmore Girls for me, you like the way that they wrap that up? Did I hear right that they're bringing that back somehow? Oh, Cybershot says Training Day, like you hated the way you ended. It's really interesting, like the things that attract us to stories. I think that when you look at a lot of straightforward stories, what it breaks down to what it looks like it's breaking down to is some sort of conflict between what appears to be good versus evil. But I think more often it's a conflict between someone that we care about or relate to in some way versus whatever it is that's getting in the way of the goal that they have. Whether that goal is good or bad. I think a lot of times we can relate to the villain or the anti-hero even more than the actual hero. But that's how stories work, you know. In reality, it's difficult to find the kind of resolution, whether it's a satisfying one or an unsatisfying one. In so many cases, our lives don't give us any resolution at all. It's like a ongoing, never-ending game. There's a lot of open loops, and that can create a lot of stress. It doesn't start out that way, though. I think for most of us, you know, we start out with kind of a clear, like very clear steps of what we're supposed to do. Like, you know, you start out, there's a clear path to run on. You finish first grade. What do you do next? You go to second grade, right? And then that kind of goes through your formative years. After you've successfully been a sophomore, then you get to be a junior next. But as you get older, I think the process starts to get a little bit murkier. Now, there are still some career paths that you can go where it's pretty straightforward, where you know kind of exactly what it is that you're going to do next. But in many cases, it's not like that at all. It's like you have to keep making these decisions. You have to keep trying to figure out, okay, well, what should I do next? And I think that the way that we are experiencing storytelling now, especially when we look at the way that they create these kind of long series with complex characters and arcs, they're able to better mirror what our experience is in real life. Everything isn't so cut and dry. And I think that, you know, I don't think it's a waste of time to really get immersed in a well-told story, because we can learn a lot from it. So everybody, if you don't mind, go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat. Green hearts in the chat, because my mama's awake. I don't know how long she's gonna be up, but maybe she'll be up long enough to see the green hearts. So Tree says, I love Game of Thrones, but the ending was okay. All right. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate that. So, I mean, our life is not like a movie, but in some ways it is. And that's one of the reasons why we are drawn to these stories. But I think at some point, you know, you might begin to realize that the situation that you're in or what you're working on, there isn't like a really neat way to wrap it up. There's always further to climb, and any satisfaction that may be promised when you reach the top, when you get there, it's, you know, there's a half-life to it. It's like just okay. You thought it was going to be lit, and it was just okay. It's like the ending of Game of Thrones or the ending of Seinfeld. It's not satisfying as you thought it was going to be. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about a movie that I just watched yesterday. My aunt recommended it, and we sat down and watched it together. It's called Here Now, starring Tiffany Haddish and Billy Crystal. If you watched it, you know, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm just going to say a little bit about sort of what I gathered from the story and why I think that it was a very powerful story. So I think that like the main character had kind of reached the pinnacle of success in their career. And instead of joining them on the journey along the way, we join the character sort of at the end of the career. Like after all the awards have been won, after all of the money has been made, Still engaged, but here I am at the end of this journey, and I've invested so much and I have so much respect from the people who, a lot of people who look up to me. But, the things that mattered most, I didn't invest in those things. And now here I sit when I need people, the people who are closest to me, I can't even reach out to them. So as successful as he was and as purposeful as he was in creating the vision that he had for his life, there was still some things that were missing. And, through a relationship with another person, they were able to see that and make amends and, come to I think what was a satisfying resolution. So I bring that up because we're going to be talking a little bit about purpose. And we've used the frame of cultivating before, and we're going to go back to that frame again. We tried a few different ways to present a healthier way to consider what a pursuit looks like. I think it's kind of ingrained in American culture, specifically the pursuit of happiness. And in the short term, you might have the energy for that pursuit. Like you got it and you're going out to get it. And, the chase requires energy and motivation. But when you're always existing in an emergency and you always have to go out and hunt and gather, it can be a really rough situation to constantly be in. I think when you're hungry, it's too late to plant a garden, right? So the time to plant that garden is when you have some margin, right? So rather than always having to chase, we want to cultivate a space that can nourish you so that when you do go out and pursue things, you're not doing it from a sense of desperation. Because when you step out and you're desperate, you'll just take any old thing. Any old thing will do, right? So it's not to say that you plant a garden so that you don't need to go out and pursue things that might be exciting or interesting or challenging. It's not, you don't plant a garden to be complacent. You plant a garden so that when you do go out, you can go out with patience and clarity and a little bit of discernment. And you can be relaxed. You know the difference between like when you show up and you relax and you really don't care the outcome. It ain't got to be this one. Another one's going to come along. I'll be all right. So that's the type of energy that really attracts the things that make you happy, attracts the situations that you want. And that's a great space to be in. So with that, let's get ready to go into the next prompt. So Kalina is existing with a cat sleeping on you. That seems like a vibe. Pets are awesome in that way. They kind of know what you need, don't they? All right. So we've seen a version of this prompt before, but we've made a slight change. Cave Wall is here. Thank you for joining us. So what are some ways that you cultivate and defend your joy? I think chasing joy and happiness, that can be kind of tough, right? Because it's not a very durable thing. Anytime you're chasing a feeling, it's pretty elusive. It's not very durable. It's like it never lasts as long as you think it will, and it never reaches the same level of intensity that it had at the beginning. So chasing feelings is sort of a fool's errand, I think, for a lot of folks, because you're going to get there and it's not going to be that satisfying. But I think that if you kind of cultivate a space where you understand what it is that you would like to create in your experience, and then you make a, intentional effort to create the environment where those things can occur, then that can, it can give you that margin. Kalina says, I defend my joy by punching negative things and maybe people in the gut. So I think that you got to be careful whenever your joy and satisfaction is contingent on another person's pain. You might be perpetuating a cycle that is not necessarily going to get you what you want in the long run, because they might be coming right back. So Ed Capone says, I pray every day, 11:11. Just staying in touch. For Noble Ancient, my joy is wrapped up in a few things. I cultivate and defend my joy by being around those things that give me joy. For Alexis, is by playing games and writing. That's how you cultivate it, and you defend it by standing up for myself and advocating for my needs. The things that Noble is around, the things and people that Noble are around are Alexis, Legos, Harley, games of the tabletop variety, of course. Joy sometimes, joy might feel like a high bar. It's like, joy, that's a big leap. I'm a long way from joy. Do we have to go all the way to joy? Can we just get to all right? Yeah, we can get to all right. It's hard to, joy is a hard thing to imagine exists, but there is sort of a natural cycle and flow to things where it'll sneak up on you. And then your job at that point is just to allow it. When it shows up, don't turn it away. Warrior says, I haven't been very joyous lately, but usually I watch comedy. So laughter as laughter as an on-ramp to joy. I think that's probably a good strategy when you can find a way to laugh, find something to make you laugh in the midst of whatever it is that you're going through. Might not be nothing funny at all about what's happening, but we can recognize that there are things in life that can make us laugh, and there might be a way that we can see the humor in the little things that happen to us as well. Laughter is how I deal with pain. Sometimes even dark humor, right, is a way of coping. For Kalina, the cat is making you feel better and is the source, the way that you are cultivating your joy. So I think that there is some sort of a correlation, I think. I think there's a correlation between purpose and joy. I may not be purpose and happiness all the time, but I think there's some type of correlation there. There's a clue in the things that bring us joy that lets us know why we're here. Because joy is such a powerful emotional force that the things that can bring us joy can propel us towards our purpose, I think. But sometimes I think the word purpose and the idea of purpose is something that's kind of intimidating to even think about, because it seems like it's something that's so grand and off in the distance. You settle on is like this deep question. It's like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? It feels like an existential thing that's way too heavy to kind of deal with and face on a day-to-day basis. But I think that really it's just important to keep in mind that it evolves over time. Really, purpose is just the answer to the question why. That's all it is. It doesn't have to be a momentous, monumental, life-altering thing. It's just the answer to the question why. And that answer might be 5 whys deep. So, Trash Bin Misfit says, hey, y'all got any trash? I don't know. I don't know if there's any trash in the chat for you right now. So, Abby and Warrior share their use of humor and laughter as a way to deal with pain. If you don't laugh, you laugh to keep from crying. And if you make other people laugh, it distracts them from the pain that you're trying to hide. So, yeah. At some point, I guess we do what we need to do to get by. And I guess along the way, we may start accumulating new, even more strategies, maybe even more effective and healthy ways to process and deal with what we have to deal with. In the meantime, realizing that we have to have some way to make it such that we are not completely beholden to our current emotional state. Purpose has a lot more durability than happiness. Happiness, purpose kind of sits outside of the jurisdiction of your kind of natural flow of emotions. It kind of sits outside of that because you're going to have your ups and your downs. But it doesn't necessarily change the why behind what it is that you're doing. So, Chicken, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about cultivating and defending joy, and I guess centering joy as something to aim for, even if it feels sort of outside of our possibilities at the moment. Shira is back. 25th Jam is here. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We were leading into the conversation thinking about cultivating and defending joy, so we're going to go to the next prompt. If y'all are ready, go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat. And as always, you could just keep the conversation going. All right. All right, here we go. All right, here's the next question. And it kind of moves us outside of ourselves and kind of turns our attention a little bit more towards the world around us. It's like we are responsible for ourselves, and we need to be healthy and do the things that keep us healthy and able. Then the question, when beyond that, it's a pretty small world when all you are concerned about is yourself. All right. For most of us, there is someone or something that is entrusted to our care. Like we have a responsibility to someone or something. What is that for you? Who is entrusted to your care? Who are the people that are entrusted to your care? What are the things that are entrusted to your care? Like this is your charge. You have to, this is sort of the quest that you are on. There's something that you have to nurture or protect. Beck says, is this cat for me, right? The cat that threw up on the floor, ungrateful cat, threw up on the floor, acting like it hadn't been fed. I've been entrusted with the care of this cat. For Warrior, it is the kids in the neighborhood where you patrol have been entrusted in your care. Kalina, my cat, and my family have been entrusted in my care. I think that, being aware and leaning into the things and the people, the responsibilities that we have to care for the things outside of ourselves can be a great way to access new levels of purpose, because we can kind of get wound up in our head and wrapped up about what it is that we're supposed to be doing. I think one of the clearest things, the clearest indicators of purpose and the clearest signal is whenever you witness a need that you have the ability to fill. The obvious thing is to do that, right? When needs come into your awareness and they match up somehow with the unique things that you have to offer, the immediate purpose is probably to address that need, or else why did it come into your awareness, right? How do you feel when you walk away from a situation that you could have made better? I think most people will say they don't feel great walking away from a situation they could have made better. They don't feel like they are being their best selves. So for Noble Ancient, in your charge, entrusted to your care, is Armistice Games, Alexis and Harley. So we have the family, the creative professional pursuits. Something to help you kind of, want to get up, right? Make you want to get up and be better. Sometimes we recognize needs that we don't even have the capacity to fix, but they matter. I think it's important to remember and recognize, and I think I posted this in the daily podcast episode that I put on, I resurfaced yesterday on Spoon, keeping in mind that all of us are kind of feasting on the fruit of the labor of the generations that came before us. So it could be that what's entrusted into your care, you may not live to see how it turns out. Some of the things that we engage with are not lifetime size missions. Because there had to be some folks, we wouldn't have the world that we live in if it wasn't some folks who were doing things that they knew would not come to fruition until after they were gone. So it's kind of the question of like, what kind of ancestor do you want to be? We think about our ancestors, but the people who came before us, but what kind of ancestor do you want to be? Even if you don't have direct blood descendants, even if you don't reproduce and have children, you're still leaving something behind. So what kind of ancestor would you want to be? That's part of maybe what's entrusted to your care. Berlin is asking, what's up with the green check mark? It's just in lieu of the request box. So because we don't use the request box anymore, the check mark just lets me know that it's a direct response to the prompt. That's all. It's like, oh. I forgot to empower. I think I might have forgot to empower Tree with the ability to manage. I thought I put the tie on Tree, but maybe it fell off. I'll fix that. Tree's like, oh, that's all good for me. I'm chilling. Because I think Tree had a yeah. So Bex says, oh, when did this happen? Yeah, Bex, I'll say, first let me say shout out to my cousin Richard. Got a million fists up in the chat. Love that. Glad you were able to pop in while we were still live. I appreciate you checking us out. So Tree, so I think I gave Tree back manager, but Bex, yes, the request box. So the reason that we're not using the request box is because right now we are using the desktop app to stream, and on the desktop it doesn't have the request box option. And the reason we're doing the desktop is so that we can have the same audio on Spoon as we do. We have the same audio on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere that we have on Spoon. So that was really the only way I could make that happen. So, that's the vibes. So we reached the top of the hour already. So let me just take a second to, welcome and thank everyone for joining us today for session number 185, 5 Whys Deep. 185 of the Morning Journal. I'm your host, G. Every Monday through Friday, we do this at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And I want to just shout out real quick some folks who are helping us make this thing work. We got Alexis, who has been here and participating and adding a lot to the conversation here on Spoon. I really appreciate you for everything that you bring, and I hope that you're able to be rested and ready to get back into your streaming schedule next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening. So follow Alexis for the details on that. Also, Noble Ancient, hope that you are on the mend and ready to recharge and go again. We know we got some folks who are dealing with COVID, sick, and I know it's really rough out there. So if you're here and you're spending time with me, hopefully this experience makes things a little bit better for you. Shout out to the managers of the stream, Tree and Bex. Tree might be in La La Land right now, but Tree has a new video on YouTube, Treehouse on YouTube. Make sure you check out the latest episode. And last but not least, we got Bex, the Pink Princess of Spoon, longtime friend, and someone who's trying to get hired on as staff. All right. So if we're ready, we can go ahead and jump on into the next prompt. Let's get into that. Leche is here. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm wondering I wonder if Chelsea's catching up on work. Usually Chelsea's catching up on working here, but I'm not going to assume. I'm going to assume that everything's great. All right, let's get to the next prompt, see if I can find it real quick. Chelsea says, no, I'm chilling, baby. I'm good. I'm caught up. I love that. All right. We're going to circle back because I accidentally skipped a prompt. And before we get into the last one, I think I want to get your answers to this one. Right now, right here. So, what fictional character do you identify with today? Low key cramming. I could dig it. So what fictional character do you identify with today? We were talking about how we use stories as sort of a way to process and examine our experience. And a lot of times we feel like, we can gain lessons and apply them to our lives. So, of course, Naruto is Berlin's go-to. So Abby from NCIS. So is Abby from NCIS, is that the one who wears like the kind of the gothish? Okay. All right. I could dig it. Sometimes over the course of the day, we identify with the hero. Sometimes we identify with the villain. Sometimes we don't want to be bothered with out here. We might show up with some Joker energy out here. So Noble says either Deadpool or Cat Noir from Miraculous. And I think what is it about that person that makes you identify with them? So Oponi says Will Ferrell's character in the movie Stranger Than Fiction. Yeah, it was like somebody's narrating your life, somebody's narrating your life. And then you hear that person narrating your life. I love that movie. And I think that Will Ferrell is perfect. His reactions to that dilemma are perfect. So Retha is related to Tom and Jerry this morning. I don't know. That's a lot of violence. That's a lot of violence. Retha woke up and chose violence. Cyrus Johnson says, I'm identifying with the Joker, just here to cause chaos. Jill says that Pride and Prejudice has a very satisfying ending. I guess Bex has brought up Elizabeth Bennett. Elizabeth Bennett. We are romanticizing our life today. With or without Mr. Darcy. A Mr. Darcy would be nice. So we're doing some literary references for y'all. We keeping it classy. Oh, Pony got a jet. Thanks so much for stopping through, fam. I appreciate you always. Yeah, sometimes we can slip into the alter egos of these characters that we recognize whenever we want to face something that's difficult, you know? We would think about, okay, well, how would Jerry handle this situation? Because, you know, Jerry is pretty crafty, pretty slick. You really can't catch Jerry in a jam. He's always got a little trick up the sleeve. And I think, I think that's one of the reasons why we relate. It's almost like when we're watching these stories, we are rehearsing. So for Alexis, it's Harley Quinn, fiercely loyal to her mate, crazy and fearless with a twitch of chaos. So if you come into the world and come into the day with that energy, what does that give you? What does that bring you? Oh, man. So Cyber Shots is agreeing with the fact that Jerry is pretty slick. But you know, they always had that. Tom and Jerry is one of the strange cartoons where every once in a while, Tom has the upper hand. It's not often, but every once in a while, Tom has the upper hand and he gets to get a little bit of kind of revenge on Jerry. And then oddly, they have those episodes where they're friends. Y'all know there's a handful of episodes of Tom and Jerry where they're kind of on the same team. Y'all remember those? It's like, wow, how about that? Thomas and Jerome, indeed. So Berlin says Cowboy Bebop. All right, Cowboy Bebop. Nobody just says Joker because his ultimate unpredictability. That's what I relate with today. Y'all remember Thomas's the old black lady who was Thomas's owner? They don't show episodes with her anymore. Oh man. She's problematic, y'all. All right. So I think this next, I don't know. I think I might have played myself with this transition, because this next prompt is sort of a sharp turn. So we might just need to vibe for a minute before I get into this one. All right, let's see what we got. All right. Ashton, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. So, depending on who's asking you this question, there's any number of different responses that might go. You know, if the doctor is asking this question, it might be talking about like how many beats is giving you in a minute. If one of your homies is asking you, it might be a question about your courage. You know what I'm saying? Do you got the heart? You got the heart for this? And then there's the heart holds a number of different roles. So when I'm asking you how's your heart, just think about the different ways that you would answer that question if you were relating it to your own experience right now. How is your heart? Kalina says it's sad because I'm sick. Berlin's like, is the blood pumping to my lines? Oh, okay. Noble says, my heart is full of love for both Harley and Alexis. Ashton, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. Sometimes hearts feel heavy. Sometimes they feel light. There is, it's just one of the places where whatever our emotional state kind of manifests in our body, it sometimes feels localized there. So when you ask that question, it's almost a check-in, an emotional check-in. And sometimes it's a difficult thing to acknowledge. Maybe it's something that you're trying to turn in a different direction. So Twins Tarot has joined us. Welcome in, Twins Tarot. So glad to have you here for this session. The question is, how's your heart? It's like, I don't need to get into it, man. I'm not really about this. I think one of the things that connects us more than anything else as human beings, one of the most common shared experiences of different magnitudes is that of heartbreak and grief. Beck says, my heart is a house for love. Is there a heart? Heart. Hold on, I gotta stop the jazzes. Hit this 5 heartbeats real quick. A heart is a house for love, and I learn. Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up, stand up. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Dwarf is here. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. So nice to have you here with us this morning. I think we might have met a couple days ago in Noble Ancient Stream, and I'm glad that you decided to stop through and hang out with us. It's like, gotta hide. Well, you're more than welcome to just kind of be a fly on the wall in here and just listen in. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to bother you if you just want to hang back. Oh, was it Alexis's stream? Okay. I stand corrected. So Dorito says, I'm just waking up. Well, I'm glad that we can be a start of your day. So yeah, I think everybody who's lived long enough has experienced some degree of heartbreak or heartache. But I think a broken heart can sometimes be a wellspring of compassion. And it can be a way that we heal each other. Whether, it's through a face-to-face experience of comforting someone because you know how it feels. That's one way that a heart that's been opened can be a way that we connect with each other. And I think another thing that can happen with a heart that has been opened, I'm choosing to say opened instead of broken. A heart that's been broken open is, sometimes that's where the art comes from. The art that kind of reverberates through time and space, the things that really move us. Sometimes they emanate from those broken hearts, those open hearts. If your heart is hard, it might shatter. And then it becomes sort of like, not hard to put back together. But if your heart isn't hard, it opens. And then, sometimes you hear a song or you see a painting or a lot of different things that you experience as beauty in the world is the fruit of or the result of a heart that has been opened. And they move us because they capture what it feels like in really lifelike, vivid detail. Like, this is what that feels like. This is what that looks like. And when you see it, you see your reflection in that art that comes from a broken heart. It feels real to you. And amazingly, you don't feel alone in your pain anymore. I think a lot of times the most that we can hope for, the pain may not subside on the schedule that we would hope, right? But it could be the case that we can come to realize and recognize that we are not alone in it. It's one thing to be in pain. It's a thing further to feel alone in that pain. And I think that the function of our broken heart, the purpose of our broken heart is so that others whose hearts are broken do not feel alone, and maybe together somehow through a specific and direct connection or shared experience, or maybe through the generosity that you have when you take a moment to examine and share, that can be something that can be, source of healing for other people. That's the reason for going through it. If you want to try to make sense of it, because, there are a lot of things that just are kind of senseless on the face. The only reason that it happened was because so that you can know and be, if you survived it, just be proof that it's survivable. So Dorfy Dorf says, pain is a teacher to open your eyes to new avenues that were shrouded in mist. One thing that pain does really well is it brings you into the present. Let something start hurting, especially in your body. Pain in your body puts you in the now more than anything else. Because if the pain is intense enough, then, everything else kind of ceases to exist. It's, it's kind of concrete and real in that way. So Noble says, pain is a clear indicator that you are alive. It's like, yeah, I felt that. I might not have liked to feel that, but I did feel it. For sure. Chell says, it's true, but pain is kind of rude with it. Yeah, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily a vibe. But so Dorfy Dorf says, most people live in the future or past, but pain is a humbling reminder of the present. Yeah. Absolutely. The world shrinks down to the size of the pain in the moment. So as we contemplate this, I just want to just make a couple kind of general remarks. It is Friday, and as some of you know, I do afternoon streams on Friday. So there will be some streams tonight, but those streams will be exclusively on Spoon. I'm not going to be on video, but we're going to get together tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then again at 8 for Writer's Room. So, All right, DT Dub TV is out. Gotta go for now. Talk to you later. Yeah, we had a good time today, Berlin. Appreciate you. I just want you to know, DT Dub, when you're not here, you're missed when you're not here. So I hope things are going well for you, that you can get your creativity flowing and keep putting out the good work that you do. Appreciate your leadership. All right. Noble says, with me being off, I might pop into Rhythm and Muse and maybe even the Writer's Room. Hey, it's definitely a vibe. So Dorfy Dorf is giving us more on pain. Pain is the uncomfortable state for us to continue to new, brighter joys. Joy and pain, right? We have to have those opposites. Sunshine and rain. I'm not going to go into that one, though. Aaron, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If y'all are ready, we're going to get into the next little bit of the conversation. I appreciate everyone's adjustment and presence and everything with regard to the conversation that we have going on today. It means a lot that you choose to spend time with me here. And I want to kind of get a picture of what's ahead for you, looking at the weekend coming up. Yeah, let's take a look. I really struggle to navigate this desktop version, so I appreciate your patience as I try to find everything. So let's take a look at our weekend, folks. Let's take a look at our weekend. What has you most excited about the weekend ahead? What's going on for you this weekend? Is there something that you've been anticipating that's finally here? I guess I'm pretty excited about playoffs. Yeah, wild card weekend, baby. Might watch a little football or something. I don't know. Might play some games or something. I don't know. Probably gonna eat pretty good. We got some snow coming in. So Chelsea says I'm going to Alabama, to see my closest friends. Or maybe your closest friends are at Al's house. I don't know. Seeing friends, that's always exciting, especially after a little bit of an absence. Reconnecting with people that you care about is always exciting. So Dorothy Door says, my grandfather coming home from the hospital today had you most excited. Well, that's good. That's great news. That's great news. Due to COVID, Noble says gonna be home and relax. Yeah, I mean, that's what you need to do, right? You might as well get excited about it because it's gonna happen. It is what it is, right? Dorothy Door says that stubborn old man can't leave his stitches alone to heal. Captain Vlad has joined us, folks. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what's up for you this weekend. What you got going on? What is exciting for the weekend ahead? I don't know how many sports fans we got in here. I don't typically attract a sportsy crowd, but you never know. You never know. There might be some folks in here who's got a dog in the fight over the weekend. I know over on YouTube, I think I got some folks who are into it a little bit. I know Aunt Capone is a Chiefs fan, if he's still listening. And he's probably smugly, confidently just looking past the Steelers. Dorothy Door says, go Bucks. I know my mom is not excited to hear that. My mom has a repulsion towards Tom Brady that prevents her from liking the Bucks. So Beck says, we can be artsy and sportsy. I know you can be. I just know from my experience, whenever I bring it up, it's like crickets. So I'm not saying that you can't be. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem to be the case that you are. You know. I know you're not, Bex. You're just trying to bring something up. So Dorothy Door says, I don't really care about Tom Brady. I just used to live in Florida, so they are my team. You know? And you're just going to hold on with that. I know you say you don't care about Tom Brady, but you're probably glad that he's there. Vlad says, honestly, I'm not really into sports. I could dig it. Yeah. I watch the WWE instead of wrestling is a sports. It's sports-ish. It's sports entertainment for sure. It's athletic for sure. It's no, it's not. So my cousin Rich is like, Cowboys, baby, Cowboys. I think that there are a surprising number of folks from DC who are Cowboys fans. It's a surprising number of Cowboys fans that live in and around DC, and a lot of them are in my family. So Bex is from DC, but Bex don't really care about the football team. Dorothy Door says the only thing good about the Cowboys is the cheerleaders. I don't know. We'll see. Cowboys, everybody else can go somewhere. That's y'all got me out here with my slip hanging on YouTube. I ain't switched the background. Bex has a rule that says you should always root for your home team. You should always. Do y'all think that's true? Do you think you should always root for your home team? So here's the thing. When I grew up, we didn't really have a home team. If you don't have a home team, what are you supposed to do then? Yeah, if you don't have a home team, you can just go ahead on and make one for sure. Root for the closest one. This is not geography. You can do what you want. Bex making up rules. Bex don't even like sports and making up rules about sports. How about that? How you love that? All right. Of course, my mom is like Cowboys for sure. My mom likes the Cowboys for sure. So, yeah. Anybody who ain't got a team that's playing, if your team ain't playing, I guess you probably just need to be quiet. Leave this conversation for the folks who are still in the game. I guess you could say something if you want, but okay, here we go. Let's get into this prompt as we get ready to go down the home stretch for today's session of Morning Journal number 185. What are the top 3 things on your to-be list? What are the top 3 things on your to-be list? I know we got stuff that we need to do, but we are human beings, not human doings. So how you show up and the way that you want to show up to your experiences today, what are the 3 things that best describe that for you? Top 3 things on your to-be list. Captain Vlad says, I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm here because it's early. That's cool. We here every day at this time. So if you ever wake up early and you want a good place to kind of hang out and reflect and connect with folks who are doing the same, we'd love to have you here for sure. So the 3 things on Noble's list are healed, restored, and creatively boosted. Today I will be healed, restored, and creatively boosted. So Captain Vlad is taking more of a global examination of that question. I like to be a musician probably. It'd be cool to play and write music. Yeah, I can only think of one thing. Well, we can shrink that down into sort of character traits. So, not necessarily big aspirations, but maybe you want to be confident today. Maybe you want to be alert or aware. Think about the things that you have to do today. And what would be the best way to show up for those things? What would be the most fruitful way to show up for those things? And then you can make a decision like, this is what I'm going to aim for. So Beck says, to be loved. And of course, I go straight to Eddie Murphy, to be loved. Someone to care. So Dorothy Dorf says, I want to be better at being a brother, a better promotion specialist, to be me and no one else. I love that. I love that. Captain Vlad says, I like to be wise, responsible, and be awake. Those are my goals. Be wise, be responsible, and be awake. Alexis wants to be loved, be appreciated, and be good at what I do. I think it's really, those are definitely things that most of us would like to experience those things, right? I want to challenge you to, because we don't have the request box, you can answer as many times you want. Let's see if we can think of things that we actually can control, because being loved is something that someone else does to us, unless it's loved by me. If you want to be loved by yourself, you can definitely control that. What are some things that you can choose to be that don't require, someone else's participation? You can be available to be loved. You can control your availability. But the loving, that's somebody else's gig to some degree, outside, of course, of the love that you give to yourself. Just Jay joined us. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what's on your to-be list. So Dorothy Dorf says you got your patience and your temper, it gets the better of you sometimes. Run out of patience. Maybe you pop off a little bit. Captain Vlad says, I want to be hardworking, responsible, and ready to help someone in need. I love that. And, we're not going to be perfect at that or at these things, but we can set the intention. We can set the intention. So we have Janiyah listening in. Says, I'm going to be focused, caring, and be my own boss. I can see that. For sure. Focused, caring, and my own boss. I'm glad to know that you are listening in, Janiyah. Looking forward to seeing you again real soon. I know you grown now, so you might not have nothing to say to me, but Bex is giving me the congratulations on the 70 subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're listening in and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, how about that? How about hopping on over there and, dropping me a little sub real quick. My I guess my little interim little fun goal that I set for myself is to, and we're taking it a step at a time and we're gradually improving the experience over there. But, it would be really cool if we got to 100 subscribers by our 200th episode. Wouldn't that be cool to get to 100 subscribers by episode 200? That'd be great. So yeah, if you're watching, listening, and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hook a brother up, yo. Hook me up. And there's stuff that's going to go on YouTube that you won't find anywhere else. So that's the benefit. So yeah, hopefully that's worth your while. All right, so here we go. What did I miss? Oh. I got to run through these prompts real quick because I feel like I'm missing something. What did I miss? I would hate to cheat y'all out of a prompt. Trust in your care, cultivate your joy, character you identify with, satisfying ending, biggest win. I'm confused. Oh. Okay. We did it. Just Jay, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We have been on a beautiful journey together this morning, This has been Morning Journal session number 185. 185. We got about 30 or so episodes up on YouTube, maybe a few more than 30, but we've been doing this every Monday through Friday since last spring. And I'm excited to see where everything is going from here. Savannah is here. Thanks for joining us, Savannah. Glad to see you. DJ Prodigy is in the house. I know DJ Prodigy might have made sort of an unintentional comeback. I don't know. Let me know what the deal is, DJ Prodigy. Are we streaming? Are we streaming or not? I seen you kind of, I seen you out here. You said you were done, but it's kind of hard to stay away, ain't it? You let me know. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you need to come in here and just kind of put something together. Maybe try out a few things, put a mix together. So, all right. All right, folks, let me pull up my, sometimes I get lonely. It's like, I just need, I could dig it. So let's kind of pull today's story together real quick, and see if we can see what the thread is that ties all of these prompts together. So the name of the session is Five Whys Deep. Sometimes when you are trying to get a hold of what your purpose is or what purpose is, it can be an intimidating thing to consider, because you can get real deep and philosophical and abstract and contemplating, what is the purpose? What is the meaning of life? What is my purpose for being here? And you can just, be very introspective. And it's important to be introspective and have an understanding of who you are being in the moment and sort of where you're sitting. But I think the simple way to understand what purpose is simply the answer to the question why. Like, why am I doing this? Like, in the moment, what am I doing right now? Okay, this is what I'm doing. Why am I doing it? And then you'll come up with an answer. And then that first answer might be kind of superficial and not completely honest, or not necessarily that deep, not the real. So you might have to ask another level deep. This is like, why am I eating this chicken right now? Well, because I'm hungry. Yeah. You're hungry, but there's other things that you could eat. So why are you eating this chicken? There's fruit there. There's, why are you eating this chicken? Well, I mean, it's done. Yeah, it is done. But, the apple's done too, yo. You need all that greasy food right now? Why? Okay. I like chicken, yo. I want to feel warm and comfortable right now. Let me live. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Sometimes we eat because we're hungry. Sometimes we eat for other reasons. We eat because, we just want to feel comfortable. We want a distraction. There are a lot of times that we are kind of mindlessly moving through our existence without ever questioning, well, why am I doing this? So don't be afraid to ask yourself why. Start asking, be like that 2-year-old. You know how, if you ever been around a 2-year-old, the whys don't stop. But why though? But why though? They're going to get to the bottom. 2-year-olds want to get to the bottom of it, right? They're like, look, I got all day. We can get, let's get to the bottom of this. And it's really as simple as that. It's not, just being willing to keep going layers and layers deep to really get an understanding of why it might be that you are making the choices that you're making. Like, who is it serving? Is it giving me, is it trying to be, is it distracting me from something that I don't want to feel? And is that okay? I mean, sometimes we do need a break. Sometimes we do, we are in a lot of intense situations and we need a way to disconnect and unwind from that. But just know that that's what you're doing. It's all about the awareness. There's no judgment at this level. You can judge later, but first figure out why. And then once you figure out why, there might be another way. another way to do it that can maybe bring you more joy in the long run. So shout out to cousin Delilah here in the chat. Welcome in. It's good to see you this morning. Dorothy Dorf says, I came unwound long ago. You came unwound long ago at my chaotic self. Yeah, Prodigy eats chicken because I just crave that taste. I like that crunch. So off subject, but I guess maybe not, since we asking, where can you get the best chicken? Who has the best chicken? If it's not been made at your house by somebody that you love and care about, and you picking it up somewhere, where do you get your yard bird from? You know? Of course, you know, your mom has probably got some pretty decent chicken, but you know, mama ain't there breaking chicken all the time. Dorothy Dorf says, well, you know, from the deep fryer. Okay. From the carry out the corner store. Jim Dandy's chicken. Yeah. All right, folks. We went through the prompts, and I know that we typically go the whole 2 hours, but then I asked my question, why? Why do we go the whole 2 hours? If we've said what we need to say, why do we have to wait until the clock goes to 0? Why do we do that? You know? Why can't I just let y'all get on with your day, and why can't I just get on with mine, right? You have to ask why. It's like, you don't like us, so you want to hang out? No, man, we're going to hang out again later tonight. It's like Beck says, that's our routine. Don't ruin it. Hey, change is inevitable. I have to think about like that 15 minutes, y'all. Oh, man. So Cybershot says the Korean fried chicken spot is a good spot. You know, I think some of the best fried chicken comes from places that, you know, it's not the main thing that they make, oddly. So the reason why we do it is because we don't want a good time to end, so we take as much as we are given. Okay. Because G enjoys chatting with us, we get lonely without our daily fix to get as much wisdom as we can in the time that we have allowed. All right. I guess those are decent reasons for you. But what about me? Why am I doing it? Let's see. Oh, Taco Bell chicken sucks. All right. I haven't had chicken at Taco Bell. Oh, a reason for me because because you jump into conclusions. It was a question, and you ask as a question. I enjoy chatting with you. Sometimes I do enjoy chatting with y'all for sure. To help as many people as I can within the 2 hours. Well, I guess at some point, I guess so. As long as y'all hanging out, I guess it don't hurt nothing. You never know what might come out in the last minute. No Stress has joined us. Thank you so much for being here. Well, I will say I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to end early. We'll hang out for the 2 hours. As long as y'all are here, we'll hang out. But I'm not going to be too worried about how quickly we get through the conversation. You know, we wrap up what we got to say. We wrap up what we got to say, and we can just kind of kick it for a few. And y'all let me know what y'all want to add. And, it's the end of the week. It's time to celebrate. We got Wham over on YouTube. In case nobody has told you today, I'm here to tell you that you're beautiful and important. Yeah. Glad to see that. Glad to hear that. I Am Sabrina Joy is here. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. I want to say thanks to Sabrina Joy for checking out the podcast, The Daily. Alexa says, you never know how you can make a difference in someone's life just by being you? Yeah. Okay. Beck says, what's for breakfast though besides chicken? Your daily podcasts have been helping. Thank you, truly. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you. I'm glad that you are enjoying them. There's about 30 of them, but I think what I plan on doing, hopefully I can get those onto YouTube because they kind of get buried in my feed. So I might just take the audio and maybe put something nice together on YouTube so that you can enjoy the experience over there and put them in a playlist so they're pretty easy to find. Of course, you're always free to just kind of scroll through my feed and find them, but I don't expect you to do that. I don't expect you to do all that. So everybody's breakfast, Sabrina Joy's having blueberry pancakes or strawberry pancakes. Blueberry pancakes or strawberry pancakes. Long Johns. What are we talking about Long Johns for? Nicholas Castillo is here. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Dorothy Dorf is in assuming that the cream-filled donuts were Long Johns. That's a strong assumption, Dorothy Dorf. Okay, here we go. Beck say, I'm having a blueberry lavender yogurt, strawberries, and granola. Leave it to Bex to include some sort of essential oil in your breakfast. Oh man, Bex be eating grass and flowers for breakfast and putting flowers in the coffee. Doing it wrong. Leave it to Bex. Sabrina Joy says, nice, Bex. I'm not saying nice. Let me live my life. Yeah, I'll let you live. So yes, Sabrina Joy, let me know. I think that last Saturday I was able to catch Sabrina Joy's live on Spoon. Are you going to be going live tomorrow morning as well? It was pretty chill. It's a gentle space to start your day since I'm not going to be here. Oh, you're on a mini vacation. Okay. All right. Well, that's what's up. Must be nice. Like, hey, must be nice. You have a little mini vacation. The year just started. You already on vacation. Sheesh. Okay. All right. I can dig it. I'm not going to burn out. But dang, it's only the 14th day. No, you got to take care of yourself, yo. It's not like, I don't know why we put so much weight on the turning of a calendar as if all the stuff that happened before just doesn't exist anymore. It's not like just because you brand new. I know the posts say new year, new me. It says that, but it's not. Like, that calendar is pretty arbitrary. We can make new decisions, but those decisions that we make don't necessarily erase all of the trauma and all of the difficulties that we are carrying at the moment. We don't necessarily get to just drop them. So I get it. I don't know your life. I'm just playing. I don't know. Oh man. So you said, oh no, I scheduled my calendar all out for the year with taking care of business, but having, being smart about it, having those mindful breaks. Dorothy Dorf says, thanks, Noble, for telling me to get Spoon. It's spoonific, but it's just kind of awkward listening to silverware talk. I know. It can be awkward. Get real specific rest, self-care, self-love. Kindness, gentle kindness. Man, where was autocorrect going with that one? That's interesting. That's a very great way. I think a lot of times people do the opposite, Sabrina. What they do is They front load the year. They come out guns blazing, you know? And by the 19th, everything has fallen apart. And, you know, they're dejected. So it's very smart. As much as I'm joking around, it's very smart to set up the rest, make an unschedule. Put the fun bits and the restorative bits on the calendar first, even, because it gives you a built-in thing to look forward to once you are engaged in the more difficult parts of the journey that will, no doubt, show up for you. So that's some great wisdom. Y'all should follow Sabrina Joy here and on YouTube. Photos, toes, and hearts. Everyone's photos, toes, and hearts. So we were talking about breakfast before, and Richard brought up a good point. It's called break, fast, for a reason. You break the fast with something good or bad. It's your choice. So y'all out here eating these flowers, eating these, essential oils for breakfast, Get your day started right. Esso is here. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, commas, photos, toes, and hearts. Lavender has plenty of health benefits. I know. Okay. We've reached the last 5 minutes of the session, folks. We made it. Make sure that you hop over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Wherever you listen, you can check out episode 300 of The Aunt Capone Show. Coming this Sunday. Just look at the way that's spelled and go to your favorite place to listen and just type it in, The Aunt Capone Show. And you'll see episodes, 300 episodes. You can go back. If you go back far enough, you know what? If you go back far enough, you might hear me on there. You might hear a G from 2017, 18, something like that. Cutting up with Aunt Capone. You never know. Somewhere in them archives. Freestyling. Prank calling. You never know. So what about second breakfast and 11Zs? I don't know. 2 breakfast Sammys, apple juice, and Sprite? Man, there you go, Noble. There you go. He's, nothing like apple juice and Sprite. Are you mixing them together, or are you just going to have both? So Sabrina Joe says, romantic stuffy time with your own self with the books, brownies, Oreos, and chocolate. Romantic study time. Okay. I was like, I'm curious. All right, the Sprite is to settle the tummy. Dig it. Beck says, why you drinking a spicy soda first thing in the morning? That's, if those sandwiches got any sausage in it, that Sprite gonna make it extra hot. So you're gonna eat the sandwich to unsettle the stomach and then drink the Sprite to resettle the stomach. Sounds like a plan. All right. Here we are, folks. It's that time. Y'all know what time it is. It is time for the outro. Thank you all for joining us for session number 185 of the Morning Journal. I'm your host, G. This has been a cool little ride. Shout out to all the folks listening in and hanging out with us on Spoon. I can do a quick roll call because I know who's here. We got Tree, we got SO, Just Waking Up. We got Bex, Dorothy Dorf, No Stress, Sabrina Joy, Shira, Noble Ancient, Alexis, Autumn Elf, Pandora, Tim, Warrior, and Chels. Also shout out over on YouTube and Facebook, etc. I know we have Cyber Shots and Capone. We got my cousins Richard and Delilah. My mama's up in here. Wham is up in here. I appreciate y'all. And if you listen over on Twitch, just kind of sitting back vibing, I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't be afraid to hop in the chat and participate in the conversation. I love to hear what you have to say as well. Once again, if you are on Spoon, you will see me again tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Rhythm and Muse. We're going to be doing, just random prompts. I'm not doing no prep. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. We're going to have a lively playlist. It's going to be party vibes. Spoon only because we're going to violate probably some copyright standards somewhere along the way. So we don't want to, get involved with that. But come hang out with us. And then Writer's Room is right after that, where we're going to be responding from prompts from Cage's Cafe. Hopefully we'll have our co-host back on the panel to help us go through those prompts. If you've enjoyed hanging out now, maybe you might enjoy hanging out then. So y'all have a great rest of your day.